Hey guys, how's it going today? Are you ready to talk about Dragon Ball Super Chapter 47? Now before we get into it, I want you guys to hit that subscribe button as I cover the Dragon Ball Super manga every single month, as well as a plethora of other fun videos. So let's get into it. So we pick up right where we left off, with Mori being distraught at the demise of his super duper Namekian, and unfortunately that is probably the bulk of the warrior Namekians on New Namek, and now they're gone, and their energy is now in Moro. And we'll get into Moro's energy in a second when we get onto the pink guy, if you know what I mean. So we get some dialogue heavy pages here of Goku and Vegeta kind of figuring things out, and they're trying to figure out how Moro is finding the villages, and that's pretty obvious. I mean, there's a lot of villagers in these villages that he can just sense. So he goes to the villages and slaughters them and then steals their Dragon Ball. And I'm kind of surprised that after these 3 days, these Namekians haven't figured that out yet and haven't figured out a plan on their own to disperse. So Goku and Vegeta kind of quickly deduce that, and then we cut to Moro, and he has slaughtered another village. What's his name? Cranberry is kind of searching around for the Dragon Ball, and Moro is like having this look on his face, and he says, "Hey, Cranberry, look over there." And this is the first instance we see of Moro being able to locate a Dragon Ball, specifically just out of kind of nowhere. And man, I want to know how he's able to do this. Is he having some sort of like magical connection to these spheres, or maybe he has some sort of connection to the dragon? Who knows? So we will find out hopefully in the next chapter. But here we get a really cool page. We finally see Dende and we finally see Piccolo, and this is a really nice image here. Dende is actually able to sense that something is going on New Namek, and Piccolo does as well, so that's really awesome. And then we just don't see them again. We get this one page and then that's it. Are you guys planning on doing anything to help? Are you just gonna stand there sensing that something's wrong? Maybe Toyotaro just kind of threw this in there to say, hey, Dende and Piccolo are Namekian too, remember? But I mean, this is such a perfect opportunity for these guys to join the fray and help out their people, you know what I'm saying? Who knows what they can do really, but we'll see what somebody can do in a second. So he's slaughtering a village. This Namekian's kind of running away from Moro. Of course he's not gonna get away. And then we cut to 6 Dragon Balls? He has 6 Dragon Balls? Okay, it took him 3 days to get 3 Dragon Balls. Now, like the snap of a finger, he has 6 Dragon Balls. How much time has passed between Goku and Vegeta waking up and then Moro having 6 Dragon Balls? So I think that this is showing that there's something more to Moro's his sensing ability. He's obviously able to sense exactly where the Dragon Balls are now. So I think that brings credibility to how long it was taking him to get those initial 3, and now he's developed that sense for where they are, and now he can find them a lot more accurately, whereas before he had to just kind of go from village to village. And we'll get into that village to village thing in a second, which does not really add up at all. So we cut back, and Muri and this other random Namekian they have restored Goku and Vegeta's clothing, and we see them in these little I was gonna say bathrobes, but they look more like hospital garb. So that's kind of neat. I wonder if they used the clothes beam. So finally, Goku and Vegeta sense that Moro, I almost said Mori, Moro is headed toward their village, and now tensions rise because Goku and Vegeta are still out of energy. They don't have enough energy to do instantaneous movement, which apparently takes a bunch of energy, more than flying at least, as we'll see in a second. So they figure out that he's able to sense the Dragon Balls since there's a bunch of other villages around, so why would they be choosing his village? Well, I'll tell you why, because that was the very closest village after he defeated Vegeta and Goku. Why didn't he just go there first? That doesn't really make any sense. Does that make sense to you guys? I mean, come on. If I were gonna go get the Dragon Balls based on villages and based on population of Namekians, I would search out the very closest group of Namekians, obviously. So first, Moro doesn't kill Goku and Vegeta from the get-go, and then he doesn't even go to the closest Namekian village first. Whatever, moving on. But first, I want to talk about Vegeta. Now, he's asking Mori how they feel about him, given that he slaughtered a bunch of Namekians back in the Frieza arc. And I thought this was kind of interesting. Obviously, Vegeta has seen a lot of growth over his lifetime. And, you know, he saved the Namekian kid. And obviously, he wants to, he wants some sort of redemption. And here, what do you guys think? I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Do you think that this is somewhat out of character for Vegeta to care so much? To care so much about what somebody thinks of him, you know, especially these Namekians who are basically strangers to him. Now, obviously, he has a lot of pride and everything like that, but I'm kind of undecided on that. But what do you guys think? I want to know your thoughts down in the comments. So Goku and Vegeta go to face Moro, and Vegeta's like, you know, if you survive this, make your #1 priority to restore this planet. And it's obvious like that, man, Vegeta is feeling a lot of regret for what he's done. And I'm wondering if he feels that degree of regret for the other planets that he went and slaughtered, because that was kind of, you know, what the Saiyans did. They went and took over planets, and that's what he did. And now it seems like he's regretting his life before, you know, meeting Goku and kind of becoming a good guy, essentially. So now Moro is heading there, and he senses Goku and Vegeta, and he's like, oh, I will not suffer them to scamper about any longer. Well, why didn't you kill him beforehand, you dumbass? God, man, you are a Bond villain at this point. There is no reason he didn't kill them when he had the chance. But now, this time, they will perish at his hands, apparently. But, okay, so Goku and Vegeta power up. Now, okay, you guys can power up this much, but still can't use instantaneous movement? Come on. And obviously, they're feeling super fatigued, and you can see it on their faces. And now, this is what you convey visually. Now, I feel like Toyotaro often has trouble conveying things visually, so this page here is a nice way to convey that, where these guys are still feeling the pain of Moro taking their energy, but still willing to fight. But before they butt heads, Maris the Barris jumps in, and god dang, this guy is such a freaking beast. I mean, if you think he showed off his skill before, look at what he does now. He freaking goes around Moro, he's fighting him, and he gets him caught in this freaking like goo net. And oh man, that was such a cool scene, and I loved seeing Maris in action. Now this is bringing my theory a little bit less that he is still a bad guy, obviously, but of course we'll see in a second that it obviously doesn't last long. I mean, you can't beat Moro, the main villain of an arc, with a goo net. Now this is a freaking powerful device, man. And I want to talk a little bit about Moro's power in a second when BUU starts fighting him. But they finally get BUU down. We got a little bit of comedic stuff here of BUU just being a lazy fat ass, which is really funny. But then he sees Moro. And what's interesting is that they use some sort of like hypnosis kind of thing on BUU. And now he's able to access the Daikaioshin's memories, which is very interesting and kind of weird, to be honest. Now, I had theorized that maybe the Daikaioshin's mind would take over BUU and he would be able to do his technique and everything like that, but this is a rather interesting development. So BUU is remembering Moro, and his anger is rising, and Moro sees, or he senses the Daikaioshin inside of BUU, and this scene is awesome. The little back and forth between BUU. Finally, after the Universe 6 tournament and after the Tournament of Power, just slapping BUU out of that, now he finally gets an awesome scene. Now, of course, we got that one awesome scene in the exhibition tournament. I forgot which episode it was. I think it was like 78, 79, something like that of Dragon Ball Super. But now we get Badass BUU. Badass BUU is back. So Moro powers up out of the goo net, and BUU is steaming mad. Oh my god, this is awesome. And I won't let you pick on anyone anymore. That's such like the BUU language to say. Like, you're a bully and all that. That's my That's my BUU impression. Sorry about that. But he says, no more. And in the translations, it basically says, I'll not forgive you. So that kind of shows that the English translations are never really a one-to-one translation. There's a lot of interpretation when you translate this stuff. Now we get into some decent artwork here. And this is where I kind of got hung up a little bit. BUU is charging at him and he goes right through the planet spewing fire of Moros. Whereas before, when Super Saiyan God Vegeta was getting like phased by it, super phased by it, and he was having to avoid it, and he finally, after charging up into Super Saiyan Blue, he finally got a kick on Moro. And so that instilled in my mind that, okay, this weakened state of Moro was around Super Saiyan Blue level, but we'll see that there's a little bit of a thing in that to kind of see where they're going with this. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are kind of confused as to how BUU is even supposed to even stand a freaking chance against this guy after Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta barely stood a chance, and this is a powered up Moro. So that goes to show how powerful really Moro's absorption technique is. Now in chapter 46, Maris basically says Moro drains your energy as he fights you. Now that initially told me that, okay, that's Moro's absorption technique. But here, with BUU standing even a remote chance against him and obviously decimating this goat, this is telling me now that, okay, so what Maris really meant was that even just being around Moro, it like absorbs your energy. And that's also telling me that Goku and Vegeta need to get the freaking hell out of there, because just being around him, he's probably absorbing their energy and whoever else is in the area. But BUU is just mollywopping him, and I'm loving it, man. So basically, after I went back and read the Vegeta versus Moro chapter, it became a little bit more clear that, yeah, okay, that was a weakened Vegeta, and now, you know, Moro is still weaker than BUU, and that Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta was weaker than even BUU. It's kind of weird, but I don't know how I feel about it yet. How do you guys feel about that? And what do you think about what's going on in terms of the power scaling? I want to get your thoughts on it too, because these are just my initial thoughts. I need to think about it a little bit more, but a little bit Moro. I love that joke. However, you also want to consider the fact that Moro absorbed all of Goku and Vegeta's power on top of the planet, the Namekians, all up in Moro's body now. And so is all of that energy still weaker than Majin Buu? But what do you guys think? Do you think that it still doesn't really make sense? Or do you think that having known that now in hindsight, and if that's more clear to you now? But that being said, I feel like while Vegeta was fighting Moro, I feel like they would have noticed their energy being absorbed or them feeling weaker a little bit. I think that could have been conveyed a little bit better, at least visually. But I thought this chapter was okay for the most part. The BUU stuff is definitely the highlights. Everything before that was, you know, fairly run-of-the-mill, a little bit cartoonish looking, not the greatest looking, but not bad either, I don't think. But the BUU stuff, oh my God, I freaking love it, man. Obviously, what do you think about it? You know, Moro tries his handy through BUU's stomach thing, and this is showing that Moro doesn't really have knowledge of BUU because he thought he had him when he stuck his hand through BUU's belly. But obviously, we know that BUU can not absorb, but regenerate. So this is badass. What do you think is going to happen next? Drop your thought waves down in the comments below. As always, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review, and take it easy.